So many seniors over 65 have been told the same line. Leg pain, stiff knees, and slower walking are simply a natural part of aging. Because of that belief, countless people accept the discomfort as their fate, thinking nothing can be done. But that is not the whole truth. Behind much of this pain lies chronic inflammation, a constant irritation inside the muscles and joints that keeps tissues swollen, sore, and less flexible. The good news is that inflammation can be calmed, and one of the simplest ways to do it is not with pills, but with food. Today, we are going to shine a light on a blend that acts like a natural anti-inflammatory ally. It combines kale, berries, ginger, turmeric, and unsweetened almond milk into a smooth, balanced drink. Together, these ingredients form a recipe that is not only delicious, but also protective, supporting strong legs and easier movement. If staying active and free from constant leg pain matters to you, this episode will give you both the science and the simple steps to turn that glass of green into a daily habit that keeps you moving with confidence. Stay with us, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a tip designed to keep life after 60 stronger and healthier. When pain keeps showing up in the legs, many people assume it comes from old bones, but science has shown that one of the strongest drivers is chronic inflammation. Think of it as a low flame that never turns off. Instead of protecting the body, it keeps tissues constantly swollen and sensitive. In the legs, this inflammation settles into muscles, joints, and ligaments. The result is stiffness, swelling, and that heavy, dragging feeling when you try to climb the stairs or walk across the yard. The knees, in particular, take the hardest hit. When inflammation wears away the cushion of cartilage, bones rub more directly against each other, creating that grinding ache so many seniors recognize. Inflammation also changes how muscles behave. Instead of contracting smoothly, fibers tighten and fatigue more quickly. That makes balance harder to maintain and increases the risk of falls. It becomes a vicious circle. Pain discourages movement. Less movement worsens inflammation, and the cycle repeats. Researchers in geriatric medicine have long observed that people with higher levels of inflammatory markers are more likely to suffer from mobility issues. Their muscles shrink faster, circulation weakens, and independence slips away more quickly. In other words, inflammation doesn't just bring discomfort, it steals strength, confidence, and freedom of movement. The hopeful truth is that inflammation is not untouchable. It can be dialed down through choices we make each day, especially with the foods we put on the table. Certain plants contain compounds that quiet the body's overactive response, calming irritation at its source. By lowering that silent flame, joints regain flexibility, muscles recover more easily, and daily movement becomes lighter and more natural. And this is exactly where the Kale blend begins its work. Each ingredient, kale, berries, ginger, turmeric, and almond milk, has its own anti-inflammatory role. Together, they build a defense system that does more than mask pain. They address one of its root causes. Imagine opening your fridge on a fall morning and pulling out a handful of kale and a bowl of ripe berries. On the surface, they look like everyday foods, leaves for salad, berries for a snack. But once they meet in a blender, they become something far more powerful. This simple pairing holds the potential to calm inflammation in your body and protect your legs from the kind of stiffness and pain that so many people over 65 take for granted. Let's begin with kale. Those deep green leaves are loaded with nutrients that act as a natural defense system for your body. Kale is high in vitamin C, which supports blood vessels and helps tissues heal when they are irritated or under stress. It is also one of the richest vegetable sources of vitamin K, a nutrient that plays a key role in bone health and in regulating inflammation. But vitamins are only part of the story. Kale contains a family of compounds called flavonoids and carotenoids. These are plant chemicals that function as antioxidants, which means they neutralize unstable molecules, free radicals, that otherwise damage cells and drive inflammation forward. When inflammation is kept under control, joints feel less swollen, muscles recover more easily, and the simple act of standing up from a chair or walking across the room requires less effort. Now think of berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Their colors are not just attractive. Those pigments signal the presence of anthocyanins. Anthocyanins are compounds with strong anti-inflammatory effects. Nutrition studies have repeatedly shown that people who eat berries regularly tend to have lower markers of chronic inflammation in the blood. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who consumed blueberries over several weeks reported less stiffness in their joints and better mobility compared to those who did not. That's not a miracle cure. It's the science of consistent nourishment working in the background. Berries are also packed with fiber, which helps stabilize blood sugar. Why does that matter for inflammation? Because spikes in blood sugar fuel inflammatory responses, while steadier levels reduce stress on the body. In other words, berries give you a double benefit: antioxidants to calm inflammation and fiber to prevent more of it from being triggered. Here's where it gets exciting. Kale and berries do not just work in parallel, they work together. Vitamin C from kale improves the absorption and effectiveness of berry antioxidants. That means your body gets a stronger shield when they are consumed together. And from a practical standpoint, berries tame the slightly bitter, earthy taste of kale, turning a health drink into something enjoyable. If it tastes good, you're far more likely to keep drinking it. Think about it, one of the greatest barriers to healthy eating is consistency. Seniors often tell me, "Doctor, I tried adding greens to my diet, but I just couldn't stick with it." The beauty of blending kale with berries is that you remove that barrier. The flavor is bright, refreshing, and satisfying. The drink feels more like a treat than a chore. And when a habit is pleasant, it has a much better chance of lasting. So what does this look like in everyday life? Picture someone who struggles with heavy legs each morning. They climb out of bed and feel that familiar stiffness in the knees. They pour a cup of coffee, maybe nibble on toast, and carry that discomfort with them through the day. Now imagine swapping that routine for a smoothie that combines kale and berries. The antioxidants begin calming inflammation with every sip. Over time, the knees feel less swollen, and the heaviness in the legs starts to lift. It doesn't happen overnight, but with regular use, the difference becomes noticeable. And the change is not just physical. There is a psychological boost, too. Drinking something colorful, fresh, and tasty in the morning sends a signal I'm doing something good for my body. That positive feeling reinforces the habit and creates momentum for other healthy choices during the day. Of course, as with all health advice, balance matters. Kale contains vitamin K, which supports bone strength but also plays a role in blood clotting. For those on blood-thinning medication, it's important to talk with a healthcare provider before making large increases in kale intake. That doesn't mean kale should be avoided. It simply means adjustments may be needed to keep everything safe and effective. When we talk about leg pain in older age, most people imagine stiff joints or tired muscles, but often, the problem runs deeper into the tissues that hold everything together, tendons and ligaments. These are the strong bands that connect muscle to bone and stabilize our every step. With age, they become less flexible, more prone to small injuries, and slower to heal. What makes this worse is the constant background of inflammation, which leaves tissues sore and swollen even after minor effort. This is where ginger and turmeric come in, not as exotic spices from faraway lands, but as natural tools we can use daily to quiet the body's discomfort. Let's start with ginger. Anyone who has sliced fresh ginger root knows its sharp aroma and gentle heat. That warmth is more than flavor. It reflects active compounds inside called gingerols. These gingerols have been studied for their ability to reduce inflammation and to relax muscle tissue. When muscles tighten after a long day of walking or standing, ginger helps them release that tension. Researchers at the University of Georgia, for example, found that daily ginger intake reduced muscle pain after exercise by up to 25%. While seniors aren't usually doing high-intensity workouts, their muscles still face micro damage from daily use, walking up steps, lifting groceries, even standing for long periods. Ginger provides a natural way to calm that soreness, making it easier to keep moving without the constant reminder of pain. Ginger also supports circulation. By encouraging blood flow, it helps bring oxygen and nutrients to tissues that are slow to heal. For ligaments and tendon areas of the body that do not get as much direct blood supply, this gentle boost can make a real difference in recovery and resilience. Now turn to turmeric, the bright yellow spice that gives curry its color. Its active compound, curcumin, has become one of the most widely studied natural anti-inflammatories. Curcumin works by blocking certain pathways in the body that trigger swelling and pain. Unlike medications that target only one process, curcumin has a broader effect, which is why people often report overall relief when they include turmeric consistently. For seniors with aching knees or hips, turmeric can help reduce the feeling of stiffness that makes every step harder. A review in the Journal of Medicinal Food concluded that turmeric extracts improved joint comfort in people with osteoarthritis, a condition closely tied to aging ligaments and cartilage wear. That's powerful evidence that this golden spice is more than just a kitchen coloring agent. It is a gentle daily partner for long-term mobility. Ginger and turmeric each bring their own strengths, but together they complement each other beautifully. Ginger targets muscle tension and circulation, while turmeric works on the deeper inflammatory pathways. One provides quick, soothing relief, the other builds longer-term protection. When blended into a smoothie, they add not only health value, but also flavor. Ginger's zing balances turmeric's earthiness, creating a warm undertone beneath the sweetness of berries and the freshness of kale. Another practical benefit is that turmeric absorbs better when combined with healthy fat. In this recipe, almond milk and a spoon of peanut butter supply that fat naturally, making curcumin more available to the body. Without even trying, the recipe is designed in a way that maximizes benefits. Think about the moment when climbing a short staircase feels harder than it should, as if the calves refuse to cooperate. Walking across the living room feels like dragging weights. By adding ginger and turmeric into a morning smoothie, the body receives a steady supply of compounds that loosen that tightness from the inside out. Over weeks, evenings become less about nursing sore legs and more about enjoying a short stroll outside or standing comfortably to cook dinner. The beauty here is accessibility. Ginger roots and turmeric powder are inexpensive and easy to find in any grocery store across the United States. They do not require special preparation. Just a small slice of ginger or a teaspoon of turmeric powder is enough to bring measurable benefits. That makes this part of the recipe realistic for seniors living on a budget or in smaller towns. At its heart, adding ginger and turmeric to the kale and berry blend is about more than taste. It is about giving the muscles, tendons, and ligaments a fighting chance to stay flexible and dependable. It is about turning a daily drink into a form of quiet therapy, delivered not by a pill bottle, but by whole foods. And it is about helping older adults keep their independence because when your muscles and ligaments cooperate, every step feels lighter, steadier, and more confident. Every step we take depends not just on muscles, but on the solid framework of bones and the smooth function of joints. When these structures weaken, legs feel unstable, movement becomes painful, and independence begins to slip away. For many people over 65, this gradual weakening is linked to thinning bones and joints worn down by years of use. Here is where a simple choice of unsweetened almond milk becomes a quiet but important ally in protecting mobility. Bones are living tissue. They constantly break down and rebuild. With age, the rebuilding slows while breakdown speeds up, leading to conditions like osteoporosis. Calcium is the raw material bones need, and vitamin D helps the body absorb it effectively. Almond milk, especially when fortified, provides both, A single cup can deliver the calcium equivalent of dairy milk without the heaviness or lactose that troubles many seniors. For joints, adequate calcium means the surrounding structures, cartilage, ligaments, and supporting tissues stay stronger and less prone to injury. Vitamin D adds another layer of support by regulating inflammation around the joints, keeping them more comfortable during daily movement. You might ask, why almond milk instead of traditional cow's milk? For one, many older adults struggle with lactose intolerance, leading to bloating or discomfort after dairy. Almond milk sidesteps that problem. It is light, smooth, and easy to digest. Another advantage is its lower calorie content compared to whole milk, which helps seniors maintain a healthy weight. Extra pounds place additional stress on knees and hips, worsening pain and speeding joint wear. By choosing almond milk, you get the nutrients bones need without the extra burden of excess calories. And let's not overlook magnesium, another mineral present in almonds. Magnesium works alongside calcium to maintain bone density and contributes to muscle relaxation, which reduces cramping and stiffness. In our anti-inflammatory smoothie, almond milk does more than provide nutrition. It creates a creamy base that ties the ingredients together. Its mild flavor balances the sharpness of kale, the tartness of berries, and the warmth of ginger and turmeric. This makes the drink pleasant to sip, encouraging regular use. Because let's face it, the best nutrition in the world won't help if it stays in the fridge. Taste and texture are what turn a recipe into a habit. From a functional standpoint, almond milk also provides a bit of fat, which enhances the absorption of turmeric's curcumin. Without fat, curcumin passes through the body with little effect. With almond milk, the body captures and uses it. This hidden synergy shows how carefully chosen ingredients can multiply each other's benefits. For individuals with nut allergies, almond milk is obviously not an option. Alternatives like oat milk or fortified soy milk can provide similar calcium benefits. The key is choosing an unsweetened variety, since added sugars can counteract the anti-inflammatory goals of the recipe. It's also important to check labels. Not all almond milk is fortified equally. Choosing one with added calcium and vitamin D ensures you're getting the most support for bones and joints. Up to this point, we've explored why inflammation harms the body and how kale, berries, ginger, turmeric, and almond milk each bring unique benefits. But knowledge alone won't make legs stronger. The real value comes when this recipe leaves the page or the screen and enters the kitchen. That's what practical application is all about. Turning a handful of ingredients into a daily ritual can mean the difference between theory and real change in your health. One of the most common concerns seniors share is that health advice often feels complicated. Too many steps, unusual ingredients, or fancy equipment can turn good intentions into frustration. This smoothie is the opposite. All it takes is a blender, a handful of kale leaves, a cup of berries, a slice of fresh ginger, a pinch of turmeric, and a base of unsweetened almond milk. In less than 5 minutes, the ingredients transform into a creamy drink packed with protective compounds. The speed and simplicity mean it can fit into anyone's morning, no matter how busy or quiet the household. When is the best time to drink it? Morning is ideal because it sets a positive tone for the day and ensures nutrients are absorbed while the body is fresh. However, it can just as easily be enjoyed in the afternoon as a snack that replaces processed treats. What matters more than timing is consistency. Muscles, bones, and joints respond to steady care, not occasional effort. By weaving this smoothie into a daily routine, like brushing teeth or taking a short walk, the benefits accumulate quietly but powerfully. A standard glass is enough for most adults. There is no need for oversized servings. In fact, moderation makes the habit easier to maintain long-term. And remember, the smoothie is meant to complement meals, not replace them. Balanced eating throughout the day, plenty of vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, and healthy fats provides the foundation. The smoothie serves as an anti-inflammatory boost layered on top of that foundation. No one wants to drink the exact same thing every day. The good news is that this recipe is highly adaptable. Kale can be swapped for spinach if that is what's available. Strawberries can replace blueberries when they're in season. A sprinkle of cinnamon can add warmth on cold mornings. These small changes keep the drink enjoyable without reducing its value. For those who prefer a creamier texture, adding half a banana blends smoothly with the almond milk and increases potassium for muscle health. Practical advice is not complete without mentioning safety. For seniors on blood thinners, large amounts of kale or ginger may interact with medications. The amounts used in a smoothie are generally safe, but it's wise to check with a healthcare provider before making it a daily habit. For people with nut allergies, almond milk should be replaced with fortified oat or soy milk, and always choose unsweetened versions to avoid hidden sugars that fuel inflammation. Think about the bigger picture. A single smoothie won't erase decades of wear on joints or bones, but as part of a pattern of choosing foods that calm inflammation and nourish muscles, it becomes a tool that supports independence. Imagine pairing this smoothie with a short morning walk, a balanced lunch with lean protein, and gentle stretching in the evening. Each choice reinforces the other, creating a cycle of resilience. Over weeks and months, the cumulative effect becomes less pain, stronger legs, and more freedom to do the things you love. As we come to the end of today's episode, let's bring everything together. We began by challenging the old belief that leg pain and stiffness are simply the price of aging. In reality, much of that discomfort comes from chronic inflammation, a process that can be quieted with the right foods. From there, we uncovered the unique power of kale and berries. Their antioxidants and vitamins protect cells, reduce swelling, and make legs feel lighter. Then we saw how ginger and turmeric add another layer of comfort, loosening tense muscles and calming sore ligaments with natural warmth and anti-inflammatory strength. Almond milk stepped in as a gentle base, delivering calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium to support bones and joints, while also helping the body absorb turmeric more effectively. And finally, we brought it all together in the kitchen, showing how this recipe can move from theory into daily life. Simple to prepare, flexible in flavor, and powerful when made into a steady habit. The message is clear: you are not powerless against muscle loss or joint pain after 60. By choosing foods that protect circulation, calm inflammation, and strengthen the framework of the body, you can keep moving with more ease and confidence. For anyone living with health conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or blood disorders, it is always wise to check with your doctor before changing your daily diet. Safety first, always. And now comes the most important part: action. Try making this smoothie in your own kitchen. Taste how refreshing it is, and notice how your body responds over time. Share it with a friend, a spouse, or someone in your community who could use stronger legs and less pain. And if this message resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself like this video. Subscribe to the channel and stay with us for more ways to protect your health naturally. Every choice you make today is an investment in the strength, freedom, and independence you deserve tomorrow.